64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy. Hello, and happy day. How does slowing down sound to you today? Would you like to reduce the noise for just a bit? Are you ready to make a choice and decide to listen? My name is Igor S.F. Walker. I am here to remind people to slow down, to reduce the noise, to walk their lives into a natural flow. Welcome back to the Book of the Week series. Every week, as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. And today, we look at Talk Like TED, the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top minds by Carmine Gallo. Talk Like TED is for anyone who wants to speak with more confidence and with more authority. It is for anyone who delivers presentations, sells products and services, or leads people who need to be inspired. If you have ideas worth sharing, the techniques in this book will help you craft and deliver those ideas far more persuasively than you've ever imagined. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I have and use that will help you tremendously in this game of life and how to play it well. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and all of your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, your social awareness, your self-management and relationship management. After analyzing more than 500 TED presentations, more than 150 hours, and speaking directly to successful TED speakers, Carmine discovered that the most popular TED presentations share 9 common elements. The most engaging presentations are emotional. They touch your heart. They're novel. They teach you something new, and they're memorable. They present content in ways you will never forget. We have humans connecting to humans in a direct and almost vulnerable way. You're on a stage, naked, so to speak. The talks that work best are the ones where people can really sense that humanity, the emotions, dreams, imagination. So dig deep to identify your unique and meaningful connection to your presentation topic. Science shows that passion is contagious. Literally, you cannot inspire others unless you are inspired yourself. You stand a much greater chance of persuading and inspiring your listeners if you express an enthusiastic, passionate, and meaningful connection to your topic. People cannot inspire others unless and until they are inspired themselves. Motivated and energized speakers are always more interesting and engaging than bored and passive ones. What makes your heart sing? Accept happiness as a choice. What is one challenge you have been faced with recently? After identifying your challenge, list 3 reasons why this challenge is an opportunity. You see, happiness is a choice, an attitude that is contagious, and your state of mind will positively affect the way your listeners perceive you. A positive, intense feeling that you experience for something that is profoundly meaningful for you as an individual. Thanks to the study of neuroplasticity, scientists are finding that the brain actually grows and changes throughout your life. The intense repetition of a task creates new, stronger neural pathways. As a person becomes an expert in a particular area, music, sports, public speaking, the areas of the brain associated with those skills actually grow. You want to help someone? Shut up and listen. It is our experience that the very best executives are the ones who are the most passionate about what they do, said Ron Barron, billionaire investor. Sure, you want to reach their minds, but you can do that only after you have touched their hearts. Connect with people on a personal and emotional level. If you start with something too esoteric and disconnected from the lives of everyday people, it is harder for people to engage. Narrative, storytelling can help break down the wall between you and the people you need to persuade. And narrative is the most powerful way to break down resistance. We use storytelling. We connect each story to the central theme of identity. You do need data, facts, and analysis to challenge people. But you also need narrative to get people comfortable enough to care about the community that you are advocating for. Your audience needs to be willing to go with you on a journey. Storytelling is the ultimate tool of persuasion. Aristotle is one of the founding fathers of communication theory. He believed that persuasion occurs when three components are represented: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos is credibility. We tend to agree with people who we respect for their achievements, their title, their experience, etc. Logos is the means of persuasion through logic, data, and statistics. And pathos is the act of appealing to emotions. Inspiring communicators and the best TED presenters stick to one of three types of stories. The first are the personal stories that relate directly to the theme of the conversation or the presentation. Second are stories about other people who have learned a lesson the audience can relate to. And third, stories involving a success or failure of products or brands. Curiosity happens when we feel a gap in our knowledge. Gaps cause pain. When we want to know something, but we don't, it's like having an itch that we need to scratch to take away the pain. We need to fill the knowledge gap. We sit patiently through bad movies, even though they may be painful to watch, because it is too painful not to know how they end. Avoid overused buzzwords and cliches. These words are empty. They're meaningless. And they're used so often, they've lost whatever punch they may once had. Overused metaphors can also be boring. Some scientists have contended that figures of speech, like a rough day, are so familiar that they're treated simply as words and no more. Brain scans are revealing that when people hear a detailed description, an evocative metaphor, or an emotional exchange between characters, different areas of the brain are stimulated. Just hearing the smell of lavender activates the part of the brain involved in smell. When subjects in the laboratory read a metaphor involving texture, the sensory cortex, responsible for perceiving texture through touch, become active. When you tell a story, by all means, do use metaphors, analogies, and vivid language, but eliminate cliches, buzzwords, and jargon. The importance of 3 Ps: passion, practice, presence. In order to learn to deliver presentation in a genuine conversational way, the first step requires the spokesperson to identify what he or she is passionate about and how it connects to his or her message. The next step is to practice. 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 Only until these two first needs have been met will the true presence come to the surface. If your goal is to deliver a memorable presentation that will leave your audience in awe, then you have to practice. And during your practice sessions, you must pay attention to how you sound, verbal delivery, and how you look, body language. The 4 elements of verbal delivery are rate, volume, pitch, and pauses. Rate, speed at which you speak. Volume, loudness or softness. Pitch, high or low. And pauses, short pauses to punch keywords. Walk, move, and work the room. Most business professionals think they need to stand like statues or behind the lectern. But movement is not only acceptable, it's actually welcomed. Conversations are fluid, they're not stiff. Some of the greatest business speakers walk among the audience instead of standing in front of them. Here's a simple trick. When you do record your presentation, walk out of the frame once in a while. If you don't leave the camera frame several times during a 5-minute presentation, you're too rigid. And take your hands out of your pockets. If you can't explain your big idea in 140 characters or less, keep working on your message. The discipline brings clarity to your presentation and helps your audience recall the one big idea you are trying to teach them. After someone listens to your presentation, the real test is when they leave and someone asks, "What did that person talk about?" I want to be good enough that they have a clear answer to that question. The answer is not an accumulation of little things, but the one big idea. Your audience needs to see the big picture before learning the details. As you craft your next presentation, ask yourself, what is the one thing I want my audience to know about my company, product, service, or idea? Remember to make your headline specific and clear. If you connect to an audience's emotional response, then they will perceive the information more vividly, be less distracted, and be more likely to remember it. Use very concrete and meaningful examples to illustrate abstract points. Use images skillfully, whether they be beautiful, surprising, or disgusting. Create a holy smokes moment. I call it the emotionally charged event, or what some referred to as the wow moment, the holy smokes moment. It's the one moment in a presentation when you drive your point home and your listener's jaw drops and she says to herself, "Holy smokes, I get it now." It's the first thing they remember about your presentation and the first thing they say to someone else who didn't see it but wants to know about your presentation. A holy smokes moment need not be fancy. It might be something as simple as a short personal story. Persuasion occurs when you reach a person's heart and head, logic and emotion. You'll need evidence, data and statistics to back up your argument. Make numbers meaningful, memorable, and jaw-dropping by placing them in a context that the audience can relate to. A statistic doesn't have to be boring. Secret number 6, lighten up. Don't take yourself or your topic too seriously. The brain loves humor Give your audience something to smile about. And put in time. Do you remember locking your car door when you left it this morning? You may not remember it, but of course you did. You need to practice communicating your content every day at every opportunity so that the mechanics of giving your presentation do not monopolize your attention and focus. You don't want to be the dancer counting the steps out loud. Repetition frees your mind to tell your story in a way that is interesting, dynamic, and most important, authentic. And there you have it. Talk like Ted. Please, do help out. It is easy. Simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too and spread the word. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. And the link to this book is in the description below. So buy it and read. Never stop learning. Especially learning about yourself and nature. So gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website and find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and all of your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. The links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.